I tore my heart instead of the paper. I know it's disturbing, but to put it mildly, I am a sorrow chaser. A graveyard of hollowed hearts, tear-soaked papers, and stars that never made it back to their quarters. I search for pain beneath the sun rays and breathe life into it. It doesn't matter if it has been dead or decayed in a bed at the end of the Atlantic from the medieval. I will wash those fossils and rewrite the bones to life. In the midst of family and friends, when my heart dares to feel like the 4th of July, I search for it. In conjured up thoughts of a broken glass, a lost scarf, of death, betrayal, a bad joke, tell me, am I okay? Why pain? What happened to laughter that fills the skies from here to the moon? What happened to all the rainbows we tasted and all the times we danced in the rain? What happened to the relief in healing and the wholeness in contentment? What happened to hearts that became whole despite the pain they endured? Sorry, there will be no use of the word pain henceforth. I hope, because even if it existed, it wasn't harbored like containers at a harbor. It was released to the wind like cremated memories. Can I learn to change the letter P to peaches or pasta, A to anything that doesn't crumble to ash beneath my pen, I into something that isn't cold enough to desiccate my bones, into an archaic letter that was never found, and N to not make a necessity out of this never-ending need to knit this numbness onto my pages and feel nostalgic about it. Is this really all I know? Have I repeated it so many times that instead of losing its meaning, it has become a second skin and I cannot feel or touch or watch anything if it isn't crafted in its image? Will I ever learn that out of all the things that happen at night, the moon is the most beautiful, and beautiful things don't always need to turn into sad epistles, that pain is not a crown or a lipstick, and I will still be beautiful without the tears, and my hands will still be soft without being blood-soaked, and this poem and the one before it and the one after it would still mean something if I let them step out of these confines I have placed them in. That pain can course through my veins and swim on its own without coming back to sleep on these pages and make my eyes rain. All these reasons and resolutions, but the next time my fingertips fit upon the edges of my pen, I tell myself, pain is real, Moonchild. You need to touch it to know it. And then I build a shrine out of empty houses and suffocated would have been love stories and bask in its divinity. I dangle its oracles as ornaments, hypnotizing my audience into a blissful trance of agony, saddling them with this pain I have learned to administer with the finesse of a nurse, creating a vacuum out of them, while they still reach out for more, all the while feeling like a poor man who has stumbled upon a bag of gold, like chirping birds. My mother's smile, woven words, tears-induced laughter, the stars, and even you. I have turned so many things to dust that even on days I feel like a dancing wave, desert storms occur in my body, and I do not make lemonades out of the lives life has offered me, because I detest the taste of lingering optimism. And don't get me wrong, this isn't a cry out for help. This is me managing to keep something alive, even if it's a headfirst dive into my undoing. Watering the dark crimson roses and the cactus, even if the gardens was built upon sunflowers, daffodils, and your smiles. That to stop this means to let go, and I have been trying to stop seeing you in my sins and wash you off my skin. I have been trying to erase your name from my journal, block every thought of you, avoid gatherings that smell like you, to even forgive the sun for daring to cast everything in your shadow, to purge myself of every letter you have written on my tree bark heart without sowing myself to the ground, because it is hard to build yourself up into something without becoming a pundit in pain. A resident, a keeper. I am not a housewarming party for pain, and I know that first step is to use less of the word pain and more of happy words like peaches or cherry blossoms, but I cannot see spring without you, and peach is the color you never saw me in. I want you to tell me how I look in peach, and I want you to kiss me and tell me that and tell me and I want you to kiss me and tell me, darling, you taste like a lungi moon. like self-pity doused in decade-old abstract paint melancholy, tributes and apologies that never made it to past lovers, and dreams turned into nothing but footprints. I have felt like this for so long that nothing else feels like feeling, and I know that misery loves company, but if my melancholy-laced lips ever leave an aftertaste on your mouth, you can decide to leave too. It is fine, I swear it. Not all of us can turn stars into constellations, and I have watched you try to replace this active canon of sadness with love, but don't you get it by now, my love? Some of us reach out for these things to turn them to dust, to poetry, to have something to keep us from excavating our own hearts into pipelines, because this hollowness is a landmark and there are no lights in this city. You cannot sneak anything in. Perhaps this is all I will ever know. That is okay too. But if nothing else, then know this. As my hands let go of your skin and my eyes open to your absence, I will write you. I will write you in dark tunnels, in grief, the weight of knowledge, in death dressed in your best friend face. I will write you in misery, in trauma, in PTSDs, on bathroom floors between mummifying bones. I will write you so many times until my words are the inscription on your tombstone, and when pain goes mute, I will make the silence document too. Thank you very much.